Have you ever been in an intense situation, a conversation, and you blurt out something that you wish you would have never said? And so you stammer, and you try to make it better. You try to say something else to undo it. And the more you start trying to fill in the silence with this person, or maybe more than one person looking at you, the more you wish you could disappear and just start over. But it's too late, because you may have offended someone, you may not have, you don't know. After that, you excuse yourself, you get out of this wherever you are. And when you have those moments of silence after, you just go, what in the heck was I thinking? Why did I say that? And what will they do with that? And many times you're just so hard on yourself. You're so panicked. You're so anxious. You can't think of anything to do but immediately try to call them or apologize or keep texting them until they're going crazy, wondering, what are you doing? Stop. I'm going to suggest right now that you stop. The first thing you need to do, if you're going to try and backpedal or try to smooth this over, is you need to assess, are you sure they even heard you or paid attention to it? I'm saying this because most people don't listen. And unless you had the floor, you had the stage, or this was a one-on-one intimate conversation that you said something you wish you hadn't, then it's quite possible that they didn't even notice. Like maybe you were at a talk or at a gathering, and when you said something, not many people noticed, or it was so out of context, they just didn't even give it any attention. Because after all, 90% of what most people say, other people really don't listen to. So when I look at it like that, I'm really telling you, make sure that it was really heard and that they knew or they understood what you meant. Okay, so now how to really backpedal out of this. You're going to have to make it up to them. You're going to have to explain. But before you do that, it's very important that you take the stance that, okay, I am responsible for this. This came out of my mouth, and that you acknowledge it. And when you acknowledge something, that means you put yourself in the other person's position, how they may have received it, as well as what your position was. Were you feeling hungry? Were you feeling angry? What were you feeling scared? A lot of times things are said in relationships when one person starts to panic, or they're very afraid, or they're feeling threatened or abandoned, or those kinds of feelings. And it's really important that you have the self-awareness that you know what you were feeling at the time you said this, because then you're going to in whatever manner it takes, whether it's a phone call or a personal meetup, the more intimate the relationship, I recommend the more face-to-face time. And you go to them and you say, I am here to apologize for what I said. And then you listen. You start out by just listening to them. And then you acknowledge your parts. Remember that work you did? You acknowledge where you were, what you were feeling, what was your main fear or anxiety or intense emotion that would make you say something like that. And then along with validating them, you're acknowledging, I can see that would hurt you. I know you're sensitive about what your parents said. I understand you feel abandoned, or you feel scared, or whatever it is. You're not making excuses. You're acknowledging and validating what they said. And lastly, the very last thing is you basically explain what was going on with the intention. Why do you think that came out? What could have happened? What would it be? What is even possible that would have made you say something like that? And most of the time, and I'm saying most of the time, It is fear. So if you can't identify why this random idea or these random words came out of your mouth, go with the fear. Whatever you fear usually comes out at a time when you're pressured that it has to come out. And basically that means you don't have control of it all the time. It's out to your partner or to the people before you can take it back. Backpedaling is something that everyone does. You're not a loser, you're not special because you have to go back, but not everyone has the good character and the integrity to go back. And that's why I'm encouraging you to take that step, to go back and to apologize and try to clear up the misunderstanding.